joy, happiness. I hate them all! I'll purge every drop of color from this world, and no one will know anything but sorrow, despair, hatred! Can't get rid of all the color just this way. Unless...
How's it going? Anywhere close to done yet?
Give us some slack! This is delicate work! You're asking us to combine our technical prowess with Genie's magic to get this done, and those are two things you can't mix lightly!
Just do what you have to do. This may be our only way to help Rowdy.
I can't believe he would get so angry that he would turn like this.
That's not him. The Merc has possessed him and taken over. That's not really Rowdy. The good in him has been trapped, and it's going to take something like this in order to free him.
Of all the things Stupidity could have unleashed on this world, it had to be some sort of evil possessive spirit that just happens to have similarities to a villain from a cheesy 80s cartoon!
You seem to know quite a lot about this.
My mom criticized me taking that correspondence course in pop culture supernatural studies.
This is going to take time, and you being over our shoulders isn't going to help.
What should I do in the meantime?
Well, what would Rowdy do?
It looks like we have some time to kill before we can try this absolutely crazy plan to save my brother. So I guess some people out there might need some explanation as to what this is exactly all about. The 1980s weren't just filled with shows featuring creepy characters like giant singing rodents. It was also the time of cartoon shows that admittedly were little more than half-hour toy commercials. As it's been touched on by a number of other reviewers, the 1980s saw the wall between children's entertainment and commercialization torn down, and thus led to a swarm of animated series that were about shilling products as much as telling stories. There were several of these shows that pretty much went nowhere, while others rose to prominence that exists to this day. But then there were those that were popular in their time, but since seemed to fade into obscurity. And near the top of that list would be Rainbow Brite. If you want a concept that only could have been gotten away with in this time period, this is it. Like the Care Bears, Rainbow Brite originated as characters on greeting cards, but they pretty much were created with television in mind from the beginning, since their creators at Hallmark were charged with getting the company into the cartoon and toy licensing business. And indeed, it was just a year after the character's debut in 1983 that the first cartoon program premiered. A cartoon based around a little girl who uses the power of rainbow to make people happy. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're talking about Teenage Ninja Turtles action here, right? So how could they base an entire show on this? Let's find out as we get into Rainbow Brite. The original cartoons were not part of a series, but just a set of animated specials that were syndicated for primetime. The first such special was Peril in the Pits. It opened with this kid named Brian who was acting about the same way my brother was after the 2011 World Series.
Aw, nothing's gone right for me today.
He's so depressed, he can't see rainbows literally bouncing from cloud to cloud. Where we finally meet our hero, Rainbow Brite, along with an egomaniacal horse, Starlight, and this little puffball named Twink.
What do I have to do to get that kid to look at the rainbow?
Yes, he would feel fine if he could see the rainbow.
Hey down there! Look up! Glumface will see us this time.
What? No pot of gold? Rip off.
Whoa!
Yeah, let's see Cheer Color Guard take those stains out.
Oh no, he wasn't supposed to walk right into it. We better go down there.
So Rainbow comes down, introduces everyone, and says the only way to get the colors off of Brian is to take him to Rainbow Land up in the clouds. Yeah, this was back when pretty much every group of cartoon characters lived in their own city in the sky. Rainbow Land, Carolot, and I still think even Ponyland was up there somewhere.
Wah, 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 wah.
What do you mean we gotta be careful with My Little Pony jokes? People care that much about a show from 30 years ago?
Wah, 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 wah.
Friendship is what?
Wah, wah.
What's a brony? As they are headed to Rainbow Land, we meet our villains of this show. This is Murky Dismal, who appears to live in industrial New Jersey.
Murky, they're heading for Rainbow Land.
When I'm finished, there won't be a Rainbow Land. Or rainbows.
So this is the basic gist of the show. Rainbow Land is a place where Rainbow Brite and her band of color kids make Ewok rejects called sprites mine star sprinkles that they use to bring color and happiness to the world. Murky Dismal is some sort of mad scientist wizard thing that spends his time mixing cocktails that take the color out of the world. His assistant is this giant mutant sprite named Lurky, who graduated with honors from the University for Idiot Villain Lackeys.
That's part of your plan, right, Murky? Your plan to
get Rainbow Brite's magic belt. You fool. Get behind this bush.
Okay. Sorry.
They live in a place called the Pits, which is completely grimy, dark, and dirty, despite being right next door to Rainbow Land. So basically, Rainbow Land is San Francisco, and the Pits is Oakland. Murky tries to use his gloom cloud to make Rainbow so miserable she'll give him her color belt so he can use it to take away color. That works about as well as you'd think, since he tries this on her home turf.
Hey, I'm full of pretty colors. They make me feel good. Let's be friendly with everybody.
By the way, let's get this out of the way right now. Yeah, I know, a lot of rainbow stuff. Use the word twink. A lot of homosexual jokes that we could make, but given the fact that my brothers put a ban on such jokes, and also, if I went there, we'd be here all day. So, suffice it to say, it was a different time when this came out, and you could do something like this without accusations of such overtones. At any rate, Murky's next plan actually involves some pretty good forward thinking. Realizing the color kids would go guard the star sprinkles, he glooms them into becoming his prisoners, forcing Rainbow to come onto his turf in order to rescue them.
What are you doing with those blue star sprinkles you stole?
Making this quicksand look like water. I'm sinking.
Okay, Twink, let's pull!
For an 80s villain, Murky's plan works pretty well, as he gets the color belt in order to try and take all the color from the world before Rainbow uses the whole believe in yourself, work together mantra to get the belt and thwart Murky's plans. And Rainbow returns Brian home, likely with him developing his first crush.
Hey, Glumface, next time there's a rainbow, look up. You'll feel better. And you might see me too. I will.
I don't even want to think about what type of fanfic might have been made about these two. The next episode in the series was the mighty Monstro-Murk Menace, where we learn Murky has some sort of evil spirit called the Monstro-Murk that has been trapped in a bottle for 700 years. Wait, he's kept that thing for 700 years? How old is Murky? For that matter, how old are Rainbow and the Color Kids if they remember the last time Murky tried to use that thing? Does living up in the clouds give you some sort of immortality? For that matter, if he has a bottle that can shrink down people and trap them inside, why hasn't he thought to make more use of that and catch all the Color Kids that way?
It just raises too many questions.
Stop doing that! So yeah, Murky created a monster that he can't control and thus had to keep bottled up until it gets loose and takes control of his operation. There's a metaphor about not meddling in things you can't control in there, I just know it. This episode is pretty intense for one bearing the name Rainbow Brite, as it pretty much involves all-out war between the Monstro-Murk and Rainbow Land, where where Rainbow has to build a whole wall of color to protect the land, leading Murky and Lurky needing to sneak in and capture Rainbow with that bottle, and thus Brian and the Color Kids must lead a charge to rescue her. But Rainbow ends up saving herself and those who were trying to rescue her. So hey, there's your reverse damsel in distress, internet, and it culminates in an all-out battle with Rainbow fighting off the Monstro-Merc's powers by attacking him with rainbows. This pixie and her gang of little rascals are capable of turning color into a weapon. No wonder they don't want people to know about them. They'd be caught by the government and used for military purposes.
I'm back in the bottle! After 700 years of trying to get out!
Will you come back to visit us soon, Brian? Sure. I'll tie a string around your finger so you don't forget.
After that, there was a two-part special called The Beginning of Rainbow Land, where we learned that Rainbow Land, at one time, was just this land of complete desolation and gloom. Kind of like, nah crap, I already used the New Jersey joke. Rainbow, then only known as Whisk, has come to restore color and happiness to the land, though it never explains where she came from and why she chose to do this.
Don't you want to have green leaves and beautiful birds in your branches?
Someone's come seeking the sphere of light. You must stop her.
And again, wow, this is pretty dark subject matter, as we have this little girl being attacked by all kinds of monsters as she meets all of her eventual friends and her color belt before confronting this creature known only as the Evil One and kills them with color.
Taste the holy rainbow of awesomeness!
You shall be known henceforth as Rainbow Brite, and all the beauty of all the lands is entrusted to your care. You wanted a land that needed you. Now you are its hope and light and color. But there will always be those who would make it dark. You will have to fight to keep the wonder in your world.
I will.
I know you will.
I will. I will.
These specials did have their plot holes, but they were still pretty intense compared to what many think a show aimed at primarily young girls would be like. And they helped catapult Rainbow Brite into popularity that was right up there with other 80s toy icons. Hey!
We have a problem!
What do you mean? The color's coming back. The Merc's powers must only be temporary.
Not if Rowdy Merc's gonna do what we think he's planning!
The Kayla Moonstones? You're telling me those old things witches used to worship may actually have powers?
If what we've researched is right, it's possible the Merc could use the power of the stones to burn all the color off the planet, leaving nothing but gloom, sadness, and hatred.
Geez, it would be like Planet 4chan.
We've got to purge the Merc from Rowdy before he can do this. At least now we know where he's likely headed. And if it's all the way back to the Metroplex, that buys us some time.
Okay, get it finished as soon as you can, and then call everybody. It's gonna take all of our combined efforts for this plan to work. So where were we? The mid-80s actually saw a number of these toys with cartoons get full-length movies released in theaters, if you can believe that. And Rainbow Brite was no exception. The 1985 release of Rainbow Brite and the Star Stealer didn't do great at the box office, but it still propelled Hallmark to create more episodes to be included with the specials to make a full season of the show that fall. The thing is, this is where the show kind of did a 180. The specials had kind of an epic adventure feel to them, as best as an 80s cartoon could give you. The episodes that were produced for the rest of the series, well, we did have an episode with an alien that feeds on color that Murky tries to use to eat the color out of Rainbow Land. That was pretty creative. But that was followed with an episode where we meet Murky's mother. Okay, this just throws everything into confusion. We know that Murky is more than 700 years old. So how old is his mother? Is she immortal as well? And she rides around in a flying RV? Go ahead and play it.
Cartoons don't have to be 100% realistic.
No! Yeah!
Mark making!
And that should teach that no good son of mine a lesson!
Then there's the time that Murky tries to fool everyone in Rainbow Land with a robot duplicate of Rainbow Brite, which again is a pretty good plan, except it can only work because it takes the whole episode for them to discover the fake has a huge turnkey in the back of her head.
Where's the wind-up key?
You're the one who's getting wound up, Murky Dismal.
You have to get up pretty early in the morning to fool the most magnificent horse in the universe.
That's 80s cartoons for you. The character's IQ varies as the plot demands it. The final episode brought back the Dark Princess from the Star Stealer movie, who invades the Color Cave in search of diamonds and tells the sprites to start mining for them because she's their queen. And they buy it. Oh, and now she has the power to turn anything into diamonds, which I don't remember seeing in the movie. Whatever. Rainbow beats the princess with her weapons of mass pigmentation and sends her and her partner in crime blasting off like their Team Rocket.
You're the only winners right will ever have!
So that's Rainbow Brite. It's 80s cheese in every sense of the word, and I can't help but still love it. The adventures can be ridiculous, the characters can be way loaded with saccharine, and the villains range from slightly competent to making Boris Badenoff look like a mad genius. But more than anything, the show is about promoting positive values, about happiness and believing in yourself. And I think most of us can agree that we could use more of that nowadays. In an era of trash reality shows and extremely crass comedy, maybe we could all use a little Rainbow Brite in our lives. Maybe an injection of positive energy is what we all need every once in a while. And that's why I know what we have to do.
It's finished!
To get Genie to blink us to the stones! We don't have any more time to spare!
Bing. Give me the power to burn all the color from this world! Cast everything in despair and hatred for all eternity!
Wake up, flowers. I've been up for hours. There's work to do.
But start flying. No more me oh mying. There's work to do. Everybody's got a part to play to start each day in a beautiful way. Every morning when the night goes away, every morning is a brand new day.
What are you doing? This is dumber than when you gave Veronica Mars a bad review.
Is this your big plan? You gonna stop me by injecting me with color and good feelings?
This isn't you. I know my brother's in there and he's fighting to get out. This isn't what Brownie's about. You didn't start this show because of hate. You did it for your love for television and your belief that exposing the bad could help people appreciate the good.
No! No! Hate! Hate! Hate!
Everybody's got a part to play to start each day in a beautiful way. Every morning when the night goes away, every morning is a brand new day. Everybody's got a part to play to start each day in a beautiful way. Every morning when the night goes away, every morning is a brand new day.
It's weakening! Hit him now!
you?
Yeah. It is.
Not really that day.
We've all had them, bro. We've all had them.